Oh. Okay, so welcome to the first video of my prep series. For all I know, this could be the first and the last video of my prep series, depending on how lazy I am with it, and I've been pretty lazy, to be honest with you. I did promise that I'd do videos to begin with anyway. But pretty much what I'm doing now, what's on the agenda is I've got a big leg day happening today, and then we'll run through that, and I'll run through some tips and all that jazz. But for right now, this is obviously going to be the intro. I'm just doing some work on the computer. I've got a few PT sessions. Then what I'll do is we'll jump back into it. I'll have my meal one, not my meal one, meal two, so my pre-workout meal. And then we're going to go from there and we'll jump into the session. With the session, I might do a voiceover. I might come up and speak to the camera. But for the time being, just going to slam some work down now quickly, and then we'll get to you when I'm having my pre-workout meal. There, let's go. Alright, so meal one, or meal two, pre-workout meal, going in. Easy, 100 grams of rice, uncooked, 150 grams of green veg, and 150 grams of chicken breast. So, we are, I'm going to consume this meal. I've got a few invoices and a little bit more work to do, so that should take me about an hour before I train. Then I'll have my intra and my pre, and while I'm sipping on that, I will probably watch a video, G me up a little bit. It is leg day, so it'll be good. Then I'll go through my full routine, what I do. I'll jump on the Stairmaster for a little bit, go do some stretches, and then we should be sweet to get into it. So I will see you in a bit. So I have filmed and tried to attempt this one-handed, but it's not happening. So we'll set this up right here. Good. Alright, so intra-workout goes in to the bottle. So this is 25 grams of highly branched chain cyclic dextrin. So pretty much it's just 25 grams of straight carbs. I've also got 20 grams of EAAs in there. So at the moment I'm doing actually 25 grams of EAAs. I'm using Axe and Sledge. The flavour I'm using is Scorpion Venom. I've got 5 grams of creatine in here, and I also have half a scoop of Primabolic Grind pump formula. So that's just in there for something a little bit extra, I guess, so to speak. So that's all in. Then what I do is I give it a shake. This is just so people know what my intra, how it works and how I do it. So I shake this up. Usually I try to have this done by about halfway through the session. So for example, today I'll probably try to have it done by the time I get to the end of my squats, maybe. On leg day, it is a little bit harder for me to get it down, just because like the thought of having liquid in, I use a belt on all of my squats, so bracing with it in there, it makes it a little bit harder. So if I don't have it done by then, don't hate me. But what I do is, I do have pre here. So at the moment I'm using, on leg days, I'm using Disorder. So I'm doing a full scoop of Disorder on leg days. On my other training days, I'm doing Cut the Nutrition Amplify and Prevail at the moment. So they're a little bit lower stim. I like a higher stim on my leg day. But what I do is I have this, and then I pour some of my intra in here. So I'll sip on this in the next, 30 minutes or so, just to top this up. So at least I have some of my intra done before I do get my session. I'll sip on this as well while I'm doing my warm-ups and walking on the cardio, the Stairmaster, doing my cardio. So what we'll do is the next clip will probably be the beginning of my session, I guess. So I'll see you there. Okay, so it's time for a little bit of a voiceover. So what you would have seen then is just me warming up on the Stairmaster for about 5 minutes. That's just more for a blood flow thing, sort of get everything moving a little bit more, and just sort of see how we can go from there. Then what we're doing is just some hyperextensions. I want to warm up the glutes, the hams, a little bit of the lower back as well, because I do sometimes have lower back issues. And then we're doing some cable crunches, very simple, very easy. And just some hanging leg raises. So pretty much what I'm doing there is I'm just firing up the core, and then that's pretty much just for firing it up to get all the bracing going for the remaining of the session. Now what you're watching is some calf raises. So pretty much what I'm doing in these calf raises is holding 2 seconds in contraction and about a second or two in stretch, and that's just to maximize the most out of using the muscle in the calf. I don't like to go too heavy on calf raises just because I do find the heavier I go with the hold and the stretch and the contraction, I do fatigue relatively quick. But
what we're going to see is next, we're going to jump into adductor press, and then we're going to go from there. So next up is the adductor press. The main focus here is to just try and bring the knees together. On this set, what I do is I do 30 reps with a rest pause, so I want to aim to get 30 reps. So I do as many reps as I can, rest 30 seconds, as many reps as I can, rest 30 seconds, and then as many reps as I can again, just to get up to 30. So we're trying to push the adductor through as much range as possible. This is just a one all-out set. As you might be able to see that I do have a plate on the machine. I'm waiting for a gym pin to come in the mail, but it has been delayed. But once that comes, this movement should become a little bit better. And I shouldn't have to, put a plate on the machine like that. Next exercise should be a seated leg curl, so we'll jump into that one.
Purchase your tracks today.
So I actually don't normally do pendulum squat. I usually do hacks, as I stated before. So I'm just working on getting my foot placement right on it. So I'll do a couple warm-up sets, not many reps, just a few, sort of get into it. But like, this is heavy as fuck compared to what I normally do on the hack, because I banned the hack. I do have really shot knees. They're a lot better than they were, but pendulum takes a bit more of the load on them, and I can't really reverse band it, so it makes it easier at the bottom. Obviously I've got the Nike Romaleos on, which help with depth as well, and actually does take a little bit of the load off the knees. Probably been using it for the last year and a bit, but they're not too bad. Like, these don't feel too bad right now. My knees feel pretty good today, so a lot of warming up, especially on the adductor press, as I probably would have mentioned in the clip before. I like to squeeze through with my knees, and I feel like that actually warms the knees up a lot. But we'll get into a few more warm-up sets, and then I'll do the top set and we'll go from there. So with this set, usually with my hack, it's a one all-out set, so I'll probably do the same on this, just because it is a little bit more iffy finding the perfect weight. I'm thinking 40, so 20 aside. I might go 50. It is 6 to 10 reps, but it's like an all-out set, so pretty much I just want to get in there, bury myself, get it done, and get out. And then we'll move into Cybex squat press from there. So hopefully I don't pull up with sore knees tomorrow because of this, but we just gotta wait and see. So we'll jump into this top set, and yeah, gotta chuck the headphones in. I had them on charge because they were dead, and now I've just got into this top set, so we'll get into it now. Let's go. Come on. Fucking lost my brace at the end. Probably shouldn't have gone 42.5. That's what we learn, live and you learn, and I don't have to do it until it gets put into a new training block, I guess, eh? So top set done, 6 to 10, ended up getting 12. I actually pulled back on the weight, so it was meant to be 7.5 plates per side, I went 7. Only reason I went 7 is because when I lost my brace on that pendulum, I felt my lower back go a little bit, so usually sometimes when I get on this, my back does get a little bit sore if I don't brace myself into the seat as much. So I thought, if it tweaked on that, I know it's more likely to tweak on the pendulum because it is a little bit less supported on the lower back, but I am wearing a belt, so it's really no excuse. But jumping on that, I just wasn't too sure if I wanted to go for it in case I did tweak my lower back. Tomorrow was a rest day, but I don't want it to put me out for Saturday's hinge session. So now we're going with a high rep range, 5.5 plates a side. Tempo on this one's a little bit faster than the last one, as it is just to try and get as much blood flow to the quads as possible and just sort of smash it out. But yeah, so we'll jump into that set and we'll go from there. Shouldn't have slowed down on the reps towards the end. Too many pauses at the top. Too much room for error. It was just, as soon as that came down, pretty much gave up on the set. And I shouldn't have, but shit happens. If you do have a training partner, it makes it a lot easier. You sort of got that extra. You do fuck up like that a little bit. Same with the pendulum. Like, you fuck up a brace on one. If you're on your own, it's not the end of the set, but when you're with others, you can sort of keep going because they can help you with that rep, and then you can make sure you focus on that brace for the next rep, but there's not much you can do with that. Now we'll jump into leg extensions to finish.
So another little voiceover here. A few things to note on this. With the handles I'm holding on to, usually I'll have wrist straps on, which help me pull myself into the seat, but I've actually pulled back on weight on this movement. And I've also, if you notice, I've got the pad sitting really high up my legs onto my shins. This is just so it removes a lot of strain from the knees and makes me get the most out of actually the VMO, which is what I do want to target, which is the teardrop on the quad. So that's the main focus there, just making sure you're bracing, pulling into the seat, just so you are able to get the most out of this movement normally.
I have no idea. Hold on.
Alright, so to wrap up leg session, really good session. I'm actually happy with how I went. I did a couple sled pushes at the end just for fun, I guess, and burn the quads. Stole that one off George Osborne. So now we're having post-workout, just chicken, rice, very simple, easy to digest, not too much fibre in the meal, we don't want any veg, just to not slow down the digestion and absorption of it. But yeah, overall, really good session. 18 weeks out, hopefully more content to come. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a like. I'm going to try and get as many of these out as I can through this prep. Obviously dependent on how I feel, but at the moment I feel really good. Food still isn't too low. I'm still able to really push myself through training. Eventually, maybe as I get later on, I might start trying to train with some people just to sort of get that extra push. But otherwise we just got to wait and see. And yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next video.